Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Basically today we are going to continue telling LARP stories. So let's get started today. Also, say hello to Mr. R2, he's back. He is here. He just sadly does not have any LARP stories because he has to move when I go to LARPs so I can pack the car, but he's here. He likes to listen. Now, first of all, I do want to give a little bit of context so that my stories make sense. So, at this game, I play a race called a Greylock. We are a race created by the Drow, or like the Dark Elves, to basically do all their dirty work for them. Be spies for them, fight their battles for them, whatever they want. Granted, all the Greylocks in town have been freed somehow by the Drow's control, so we do not report to a Drow at the end of the day, but town doesn't trust us because we could, as far as they know. So Friday night, I pretty much just went straight to sleep because I had been working all day at my real life job and I had a very secret meeting that I had to wake up to the next day. So I was like, you know what, we're just gonna get some sleep. So I went to sleep, okay. In the morning, I woke up at about 8 in the morning or something, which is early for me, okay. I am not a morning person, so yeah, so I woke up bright and early for that, and then I kind of just got ready as quick as I could, and I went out to this meeting point, because essentially I got a letter saying, basically, we kind of planned this beforehand, but all the Greylocks in town got a letter saying that we needed to meet up at this certain point in the woods for a little meeting, so that's what I did. I went there, and we kind of all met up there, and I think there was 5 of us. So yeah, we kind of went really deep into the woods so that no one would find us, and we started clearing a ritual circle, as you do. So yes, I kind of helped clear and set up a ritual circle, and then the Greylock that had us all meet him there started explaining, and he said that there is a resistance movement of Greylocks everywhere, and they're starting to free themselves from Drow control and escape and gain their independence. And he essentially said, I want you to consider, don't give me an answer now, but come find me later in town and let me know if this is something that you would be interested in helping us. And my character is all about other Greylocks. She is used to getting abuse and mistrust from everyone else in town, so basically Greylocks have just always been her solace and her comfort, so she trusts them immediately. So she was like, sign me up. But right after he gave his little speech, he's like, okay, so today we're gonna try to remove our little mark, which is basically how you get the Greylock curse. It's how the Drow control you. So to remove it is a big deal, and no one outside of the Drow has ever done it before, so we were like, oh boy, that's what we're doing this morning. So he got in the ritual circle, and we had a Greylock ritualist start to, I guess she's an alchemist, but she started the ritual to cleanse him. And it eventually got to a point where she was like, I need you guys to get all around the circle, and in case he tries to attack me or anybody, I need you guys to hold him down. And we were like, oh boy, because she's like, I don't know how this is gonna go, I'm just trying my best. Yeah. So yeah, it was just the 5 of us. So we had the guy in the ritual circle, her in front doing her magic-y stuff, and then 3 of us around the circle. And he started bleeding out the nose, and we were like, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, then he could just completely collapsed and started spitting up stuff, and just what's that word, writhing, he's just shaking all over, a lot, violently just lashing out and stuff. So she was like, hold him down, so we were kind of sitting there keeping him down on the ground so that he didn't hurt anybody, and especially not himself. And at least my character was concerned about himself. Everyone else was just kind of take one for the team. But so yeah, when it was complete, he just kind of laid there for a moment, and we were like, we didn't kill him, right? So We just kind of gave him a moment to kind of like just breathe and calm down. And then it looked like it didn't work, and we were like, great. So yeah, it was really, I don't know how to describe it in the moment, just when like we were all like saw a glimpse of hope that we could be freed from this curse, and then just for it to just be like it didn't work. And it was, you could feel like that in the energy. Everyone was just kind of like, oh, we can't be freed. Yeah, I don't know, I can't describe it, but you could definitely feel it like in the moment. I don't know, I'm bad with words. I'm trying. Okay. So yes, then we started our walk back, and then we noticed people kind of at the start of the path, and we were like, oh well, this is looking a little sketchy, because as I explained earlier, the townspeople do not trust Greylock at all. They think we're always off doing sneaky stuff. So seeing like all the Greylock in town walking out of the woods together, yeah, it's not good. So we kind of like, we're like, we're just gonna like go through one at a time. So then we just kind of like let the alchemist just go ahead, and then we kind of waited a minute, then we sent somebody else, and then like the rest of us came, so that it was like at least a little spaced out. So when we came out of the path, we actually stumbled across a new Greylock who, you know, just came into town and was waiting there because he was a little late coming to our meeting time. So yeah, I got to meet him a little bit, and he was very interesting. He was not an NPC, by the way. This is an actual like player character. He didn't remember the last year of his life. He didn't know his name. The last thing he remembered was being a wild elf. You know, he doesn't know why he's a Greylock, or where he came from, or why he's in the town. So yes, new Greylock. He didn't remember anything about his past, so I kind of sat there kind of like poking at him like, well, do you remember this? Like, what was the last thing you remember? What, you know, can you tell me about your life before? Maybe that'll help give you some like direction or whatever. And he was not budging. So yeah, I kind of spent a little while talking to him, and then he mentioned, I don't remember if it was him or the other Greylock, because there's three of us speaking, and one of them mentioned how they were having the town was having a council meeting that morning, and that's why everyone, like, you know, no one really caught us because everyone was occupied with the meeting. And I was like, oh, okay, like, whatever, you know, council doing whatever. And then one of the Greylock mentioned that they were taking a vote on whether or not we would each be assigned chaperones to keep an eye on us and make sure we're not being sketchy. My character was not having that. Oh my gosh, she was not having that. I was suddenly just like pissed. Oh my god, I was just filled with so much rage, and I was like, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna go right to my cabin, I'm gonna grab my sword, and we're going to this council meeting. So yeah, because basically I didn't want to bring any of my weapons into the Greylock meeting because I wanted them to know that I trust them. I'm not trying to be a bad. I'm a friend. So yes, I ran to my cabin, put my sword in my belt, and we headed down to the other camp where the council meeting was being held. So yeah, sadly when we got there the meeting was over, but that's okay because I later found out that something else arose and they didn't get around to talking about that. But if that conversation arises again, my character is not gonna have that at all. I will go around to every Greylock in town and tell them that if anyone dares call themselves your chaperone, let me know. They won't wake up another day. While I was in this side of town, I ran back into the guy who was introducing this idea of the resistance, you know, this other Greylock in town. And we kind of got talking about it a little bit more, and then a band of Greylock wanders into town, and we're like, okay, what's this? And we got to talking about them, and apparently they were a band who had just escaped and were looking for, they're trying to find a place to hide and to start a new life and to just like gain their independence. And we're like, yes, queens! So yes, basically that got me like so excited. I was like, oh heck yeah, this is made for my character. So basically we sat them down and we got them some food, gave them gold, you know, we're like, anything you guys need, let us know. And then we kind of told them where the resistance outpost was located, and you know, just kind of, we're just getting them ready for the journey upward, and we're like, yeah, you don't want to stay in this town, they're not great people, here's where you want to go, here's some supplies to get you there. Yeah. However, after game, I'm now realizing that we probably shouldn't trust them, because we told them exactly where the resistance was located and what to do and say to get in, and we didn't even ask them like where they came from or like anything. So they could very well be drow spies that we just told exactly where the resistance was and how to get in and everything. So whoops, we might have killed the resistance right after starting it, but it's fine, everything's fine, it's fine. They also brought a letter which I read about, basically it was a Greylock who was slandering another Greylock that my character really trusted, and I was like, huh, you know what, maybe we should just go ahead and do names so that you don't get confused, because this was a very Greylock heavy event for me. Basically, the Greylock that was starting the resistance, his name is Thornir, and the Greylock who is in question right now is Roth. Okay, cool. So, there was a letter written by someone named Nyx, and they were talking about how town shouldn't trust Roth. Roth is a drow spy. He is going behind everyone's back and foiling all of our plans as soon as they happen, and he's been doing this for the past few years, like he's gonna keep doing this. Don't trust him. And I was really confused because at the meeting earlier, Roth was present and he had said the same thing about Nyx. He said there's this person named Nyx, they are a drow spy, not to be trusted, be careful, blah blah blah. So they're kind of two different people saying the same thing about each other, so my character was very confused because she just trusts all Greylock, and now, But essentially in this letter it said that Nyx was going to meet with us on the docks at 1 o'clock and discuss their findings. So after me and Thornir helped the Greylock and sent them on their way, then we went out to the docks to wait for Nyx to arrive. So then we went out to the end of the docks and waited for quite a while. You know, it took a little while for Nyx to come. And then when they arrived, they were very, not quite in a panic, but there was definitely some like sense of urgency. But when they went around and introduced themselves, they were like, oh, my name is Nyx, Truth Speaker. And if there is one type of person that you don't trust in LARP, in life, whatever, it's someone who gives themselves the last name Truth Speaker. Okay? You're asking for me not to trust you if you call yourself Truth Speaker. So yes, they went around, oh, my name's Nyx, Truth Speaker, I'm so glad you guys came. Blah blah blah, you can't trust Roth, they're super sneaky. If you need to put me under like a truth-telling spell, like whatever you guys want to do, interrogate me, whatever, I know I'm telling the truth, you guys can do whatever. So then Thornir was like, yeah, you know what, you're so trustworthy, I trust you, cool. But my character was like, why don't we actually do the truth spell and find out if they're actually telling the truth or not? But whatever, we didn't. We took their word for it. Yes, I'm a little nervous. In game, I don't think my character would have noticed this, but out of game, there is a symbol for the resistance, which is a white feather with a black tip, because that's what our ears look like, just like with the black tip on the end. So we gave the runaway Greylocks from earlier each a feather, and then Nyx showed up with a feather right after that. And that's why Thornir trusted them. However, if the runaway Greylocks were bad, we could have literally given them like at least 8 symbols for us to trust them, if that makes sense. So if they were spies, they could have just passed one off to Nyx, and then Nyx came into town, and now we all trust them without any more questions asked. Like, okay, they have a feather, they're cool. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking happened, and but Thornir trusts them, and my character really trusts Thornir, so he's the only one that my character is like sure is good. Like, even if he did something bad, like, you're wrong, he's good. Like, and he has. There's been other characters who are like, oh my god, he like did this and this, I don't know why you trust him. And my character's like, okay, well, was he in his right mind when he did that? Like, maybe he wasn't himself. Maybe that was the drow using Thornir's body, it wasn't him. You know what I mean? So yeah, basically, I probably shouldn't trust him, but I do. So, moving on. So then we went over to the Legion, which is like the military group of the camp. And we kind of told them, because Thornir trusts them, like, with everything. So we went and told them, we brought Nyx, and we were like, this is Nyx. They say this, this, and this. We should get a game plan ready for the drow, blah, 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 blah. Our resistance, blah, blah, blah. So then they started talking about how we're gonna start feeding spies misinformation. And if Nyx was a spy, we just told them that we're gonna be feeding misinformation. We kind of literally went through our whole game plan for how we're gonna defeat the drow with somebody there that we just met an hour ago. We don't know we can trust, but they had a feather, so obviously they can't do anything wrong. So yeah, but it was really fun during this little meeting because Thornir said, oh, you know, this is Hillith, which is my character's name. She's my second in command. You guys can trust her, tell her blah blah. And I was like, I'm second in command? That was a weird sound I just made. But yes, I was like so excited because he didn't say anything to me about that before. And like afterwards he's like, is that okay? Like I kind of just like put you on a spot and made you second in command. Like, is that okay? I said, you can always make me second in command. I love you, queen. So yes, that made me super excited. I kind of like fangirled a little bit, but my character is not like that. She's very serious, so I was trying to like... So after our little talk with the Legion, me and Thornir kind of went our separate ways and we're like, okay, we'll meet back up later, blah blah. So then I went and I found the Greylock who couldn't remember his past. And he knew the runaway Greylocks from earlier, and they reminded him of his name, which is Rowan. So now you know his name. His name's Rowan. And, which is another reason why I don't trust the runaways, because this guy who doesn't remember how he even became a Greylock or why he's in the town knows these Greylock who we don't know where they came from and we don't know why they're in town. It's a little sketchy. It's a little bit, yeah, he says, Rowan said the last thing he remembered was just walking into town. So, like, someone had to set him on that path to town. Yeah. So, out of game, I don't trust Rowan. In game, Hillith is very sympathetic towards him and wants to protect him. Don't you love when your character does things that you scream at them not to do when they do it anyway? So basically I got speaking to Rowan again, and we started talking about his past and trying to dig up his old memories. And then someone came into town saying that there was a sorceress in the woods who could potentially help us. So we were like, okay, why not? So then we went into, she's just like at the start of a path, she wasn't deep in the woods. So we went and there was already a bunch of people there already talking to her, and we were like, hey, like, is there any way you could help us? And she was like, yes, of course, you might not survive, I'll have to split your head open, but yeah, I can definitely find it out. So Rowan was like, maybe not that, but... So yeah, then we just kind of watched for a little bit because she was very interesting. Yeah, she was very interesting. I thought it was kind of funny though because she had it was really funny though because she had two little like minions following her around, just kind of like agreeing with everything she said and just being like really ditzy and funny. And then they had a little tea party set up with a skeleton sitting for tea, and they called him Charles. And someone kept repositioning Charles to be doing some very like odd things, and then she's like, Charles, you're always up to mischief, Charles, why are you doing that? Like, this is why we can't have nice things, Charles. So yeah, I don't know, it was funny, but my character was just very suspicious, like, what is happening right now? And I also felt, when I say I mean Hillith, but she felt kind of concerned because we were just talking about, you know, freeing Greylock, and then here are these two creatures that were really obviously brainwashed by this sorceress to follow her and to just not even question anything, because they were just kind of like, yeah, it was not good. But all of town was just kind of like laughing and like playing along, and my character was like, that's not super funny, like they're kind of brainwashed, huh? But basically then someone came up and like, I had enough of this, and went and assassinated the sorceress and her minions, and we were just kind of staring at the bodies like, oh, okay, like I guess they're dead now. The other people there dragged the sorceress off like deeper into the woods and tried to speak to her dead body, and they, you know, handcuffed her just in case she tried to come back, and they're just doing this whole big thing with the sorceress. And then I realized that everyone just left those little creatures to rot in the path. Like, everyone just like left them there. I literally went back there after probably like 20 minutes of like dealing with the sorceress, and shout out to the people playing these NPCs, they were still just laying there, and I was like, wow. And this was after they finished with the sorceress, so she was kind of like, her body whoosh whoosh whoosh. So yeah, the town was just kind of starting to like go back to town, and I was like, are you guys really just gonna leave these two here just to rot? And people just kind of looked at me and they were like, I started walking away, and I said, you can do that to the Greylock in town, you're not doing that anymore. I was like, you've been treating the Greylock in town like this, you're not doing this anymore, not on my watch. I don't think so, especially since these creatures were like so happy and so like cheery and like not a care in the world, and then you just like killed them for no reason. Love that. So yeah, basically my character was like, look, we're at least gonna bury these guys, like someone is going to help me bury them now. And I got one person to help, and I was like, thank you, this means a lot. And we buried them next to Charles. We buried Charles as well. And so yeah, we got to bury them, and that, I felt like that was just a really great moment for my character of seeing things in a way that town doesn't see them, you know, because whenever a Greylock does something bad, it's like, oh, they're Greylock, they're bad, how dare they? But it's like, they don't see past that as like, okay, that's not them. They are not doing that. Like, consciously, they aren't doing that. Just because their bodies are doing it doesn't mean that they are. And she kind of saw that in these creatures, that like, whatever they used to be, like, now, like in their final moments, they didn't get to be themselves, if that makes sense. So yeah. And then of course with town just like leaving them to rot, like that was kind of very symbolic for like what they do with the Greylock in town, you know. They're just kind of like, don't care about us, and they're like, if we died, it's just kind of like don't even bury them, like yikes. So yeah, I just felt like that was a really good moment for my character, and shout out to the one guy that helped me. You're the real MVP. My character will not assassinate you in your sleep. So yeah, I don't know, it's something really little that just like, and I love those kind of moments where it's just something that seems really small and like other people might not have even picked up on, but it was like secretly like a really big moment for my character. I don't remember how much time passed, but basically when we find our way back to town, there were a bunch of orcs in town, and they were celebrating some kind of festival or whatever. So they were outside and formed a big circle, and there was like at least 10 orcs, like. And this game goes all out with orcs, okay? They've got like their full masks and makeup and like armor to make them look huge, like you look like you're in Lord of the Rings. It's amazing. Yeah, so there's like probably like 10 orcs in a circle, and they're just chanting like, blood pit, blood pit, blood pit, and they'd like push someone from town into the circle to like make them fight another orc, and then like chant blood pit. I don't know, it was fun, and my character was definitely getting into it, you know. There was a time where like I would start the like blood pit chants whenever someone else went in. I'd be like, that guy wants to fight, and then he'd go and I'd be like, blood pit, and then you hear the orcs join in like, blood pit, blood pit. So yeah, I just thought that was funny. And then there was like times later in the event where people, whenever somebody was like yelling or like starting to like have a little spat, I was like, blood pit, blood pit, blood pit. So yeah, I feel like that's like an inside joke with myself now. So now, one part that I was super excited all weekend for was this game was throwing a masquerade ball Saturday night. Okay, and your girl loves dresses, music, dancing, food. Like, this was made for me. So yeah, I was super excited for this, and I like made a special dress for it and everything. I'll put some pictures of me in my dress. Wow, aren't I cute? Wow, cute. You go, girl. So yeah, I was like super excited, but then people were talking about how there was a rumor that the drow would show up to this party. And I was not about that. And the thing is, we were told ahead of time that there would be no weapons allowed inside the ball. You were going to get a thorough pat down, and if you were found with weapons, you'd be in big trouble. So, and then I went, and basically some Greylocks started showing up, and that were not in town, like random people we didn't know. And we're like, okay, these are the guards for the drow that are coming tonight. Oh boy. And so Thornir was kind of whispering to me, and he's like, hey, don't trust these Greylocks. Don't interact with them. Be careful. You know, whatever. And so then I went out a little bit, and Thornir was eventually like, look, I'm convinced the drow are coming. You can stay if you want to. I'm leaving. I need to go. So he left, and I was like, oh no, please, no, I'm alone. I'm scared, and oh god. Basically, you know, me and Rowan were just like the only two Greylock from town at the ball, and then there was at least like 5 Greylock that nobody knew, who we thought were there to guard the drow and make sure their entrance was safe. So, and basically, they came. There were 3 drow at the party, and basically the person who was running the party kind of announced their presence and gave them this big grand entrance and whatever, and then when they came, no one was attacking them or anything. Like, we were just letting them come party, and some people would even go up and try to talk to them. And Rowan even spoke to me and said, I bet one of them knows what happened to me. I bet one of them could tell me where I came from and why I'm here. And I was like, I don't think you want that information from them. Like, I was literally like, yo, what is that information worth to you? Like, is it worth your life? Like, and he was basically like, kinda. And I was like, Rowan, no, don't do that. No, that's a no. So yeah, but at this point, after he said that to me, I was like, I'm so uncomfortable with them in my presence. I can't do this. Please don't speak to them. But I can't control you. You gotta make your own decisions. So bye-bye. And I basically like went sprinting out of there, like, for my life. And I fell down and face planted outside the tavern. That was fun. One person saw me and was like, are you okay? I was like, I'm okay, I'm fine. And I just got up and kept like, At this point, it was time for me to NPC. So I went to NPC cabin, and they had us be Greylock to go and escort the drow out of tavern and back into safety, so that no one attacked them like behind the tavern or whatever. So we kind of formed a big circle and went and kind of like went around them and just kind of like huddled them out like security. And it was kind of fun though, because we like went around through the woods and like snuck on back. So, and no one attacked us. Everyone was just like, okay, cool. Which kind of like makes my character mad that everyone is just like so cool with the drow in town. Like, you hate the Greylock because we serve the drow, but you're cool with the actual drow. Like, okay, that definitely makes sense completely. I'm glad you're using logic. So yes, then we got on to something fun because we got to be undead, which, ooh, yes, okay. So we had, basically there was an immortal, which is kind of like a demon, essentially, in the town who was helping the town, giving them information, whatever. And then we had an immortal with us who was like, hey, don't give them that information. No. So we were supposed to go and attack and kill that immortal. Good, cool. So we got all dressed up as undead and we kind of went with our massive horde into the town. And basically there's this thing with undead where if you are fallen, any immortal can raise you back up, but you are then under that immortal's control. So when I went in, I eventually, I went in and we killed a bunch of people actually. But then I finally went down, and then the immortal that was helping the town came and rezzed me, and I was like, heck yeah. So then I turned around and started swinging at my zombie friends, and they're like, what? I was like, I just got resurrected. But then I was literally there when we killed the last zombie, so I was beating him down, and then I was just sitting there stabbing at his dead body, because I was like, I don't know what to do now. And then people were like, there's one left, and beat me down, and I was like, I was a good zombie, but okay, it's fine, everything's fine. So yeah, then we went back into the cabin, and then all of town went to another camp, because there's kind of two separate camps at this LARP. Yeah, so basically town migrated up to that camp with the immortal, because he had to show him something. So then we went in a second wave after them. So then we went and attacked the tavern again, and I went down really fast this fight, but not before long I see an immortal face pop over me hi, not today, and he picked me right back up, which was kind of funny because I really get into my NPC times. So I'm laying there just staring at the sky, and then all of a sudden I just see just pop into view over my head, and I'm like, I'm going back up. And he's like, yeah, you are. Yeah, we didn't actually say that. This is a very in character game, but basically he resurrected me, and so I helped beat down the zombies. And again, I was the last one standing, and I was just beating at someone's dead body for the longest time. A zombie dead body, mind you. And then the town was like, wait, why is there one left? I guess let's kill it. So then they killed me, and I was like, well. But then the immortal came and picked me up again. And then he's like, come here, I want to tell you something. So then I wobbled on over to him, and I was like, give me command, waiting for a command. Just waiting for a command. And they're like, there's one left, and beat me down, and I was like, ah, I'm a good zombie. Yeah, but then literally while I was laying at the immortal's feet, he's like, get back up. I was like, okay. So then I got back up, and he's like, honestly, I'm kind of gonna set you free. You can go back to plot cabin and send us another wave if you want. I mean, whatever. And I was like, okay. So then I started not running, but I guess zombie running. I was kind of limping and being super wobbly and making grumbly sounds right out the tavern door, and I started going for the woods, and people were like, because everyone was outside and they just see an undead just wobbling by, just minding its own business, and I could feel everyone looking at me, and someone was even like, wait, what was that? But then before I got too far, the girl from earlier that stabbed the sorceress and her minions came up and assassinated me from behind. Love that. And set my body on fire so that I can't resurrect. Love that. But yeah. See, I just thought that was super funny that the same immortal probably picked me up 10 times all night, which was so funny, because I also feel I was the only one that he was picking up as well. But every time I was just staring at the sky, literally just seeing nothing, just looking at stars, and I just see his face just pop into view, and I was like, oh yeah, back up. Here we go again. But yeah, and then every time town beat me down, so love that. Great town. Their logic is wonderful. This town loves to kill things that are not attacking town, and then let things live that do attack the town and want us all to die. So good job, everybody. But yeah, no, all jokes aside, I had a really fun time this game, and I have so much to look forward to for next game, which I'm so excited about. And yeah, I believe that's everything. I believe that's everything that I wanted to cover. The sun is starting to come in real bad, so I think we're gonna try to wrap this up real quick. So I do kind of want to go over really quick my character's goals for next game. So yeah, after this game, my character is in a massive state of confusion and loss. She hates the town for leaving those, essentially those slaves to rot in the woods, and then for being civil with the drow when they came into town, and just partying with them like nothing's happened. And she's so confused now too, because she doesn't know who to believe between Roth and Nyx, you know, the two Greylock who basically said the same things about each other, you know, and so yeah, she doesn't know who to trust, and she does not trust the town. Now she's thinking she can't trust Greylock either, so now it's just, she is one confused hot mess right now, so. But yeah, of course, I had so much fun in this game. I look forward to the next one. Let me know if you like these kind of videos. I really enjoy making them. And yeah, I will definitely see you in the next one. I am going to another LARP actually in about a week, and I will have another one of these ready for you. And yeah, I'm gonna be up to some very sneaky stuff next game. So if you like spooky, sneaky stuff, you're gonna want to watch my next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps me out and lets me know that you guys like it and to keep making these kind of videos. So yeah, thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.